Svetlana Shlapak from ukvisaSuccess.com is here, where the UK immigration system is explained in simple terms. I'm shooting this video from London Heathrow Airport. I was dropping off my friend today and decided to shoot you a video about UK visitors application. Tiger Woods is probably one of the most famous golfers of all time. He's won 18 World Championships, and to the best of my knowledge he was the only one who did this. Now imagine if Tiger would play all his games with his eyes closed. You would probably say it's insane, isn't it? But that is what the majority of people do when they submit their applications. They submit the applications without knowing what they do, and they submit the application with their eyes closed, hoping for the best. And this hit and miss exercise brings a lot of refusals and a lot of frustration. So the purpose of today's video is just to open your eyes and to make sure that you understand the requirements of the UK visa application and what it takes to make a successful application and make sure that it is not refused. So let's begin.
Who is a visitor? A visitor is a person who is coming to the UK usually for up to 6 months for a temporary purpose, for example as a tourist or to visit friends or family. Visitors cannot work or study in the UK unless this is allowed by the permitted activities that are set in the immigration rules. Any visitor's application consists of 5 key elements which are all part of what I call the UK visitor's visa success pyramid. Element number 1. Who needs a visa? All visa nationals must obtain a visitor's visa before they arrive in the UK. This is kind of obvious, isn't it? But what may come as a huge surprise to my non-visa national friends is that they will also need to apply for a visitor's visa if they are visiting the UK in order to marry someone or to form a civil partnership or to give a notice of this. And also they will need to apply for prior entry clearance if they are seeking to enter the UK for more than 6 months. In order for you to succeed in an application, you will also need to make sure that you are okay with the element number 2, you comply with the element number 2, which is the suitability requirements. In very simple terms, it means that you will need to provide enough evidence to prove to the decision maker that you are a suitable person to enter the UK. There are 2 types of suitability requirements, mandatory and discretionary, and if you fall under the mandatory suitability requirements, it means that the decision maker will have no choice but to refuse the application. This is an overview video only, so I will not have time to discuss this in more detail here, but if you want to have a full understanding of the topic, please feel free to subscribe to my email series where I give lots of attention to this particular aspect of the application. You'll find the link below this video. And then our element number 3 is all about the eligibility requirements, which can be summarized by the 3 main aspects. Number 1, you will need to prove that you are a genuine visitor. This is where the majority of people struggle with. They do not understand how they should prove. First of all, they don't understand why they should prove that they're a genuine visitor, and number 2, how to prove it. So this is all explained in more detail in my video series. And also you will need to prove that you have sufficient funds and you will be maintained and accommodate adequately without recourse to public funds, which means that you will not be claiming benefits when you come to the UK. And the third aspect, that you are not going to be involved in prohibited activities such as work, study, receive payments, medical treatments, marry or form a civil partnership. If you do want to work, study, receive payments, medical treatments, marry or form a civil partnership in the UK, you may want to write to me directly at ukvisasuccess.com/contact and express your interest in any particular subject. If there is enough interest, I will prepare a separate video explaining this particular visa category. Moving to our aspect number 4, our element number 4 of the successful UK visa application, it's all about the procedure. It is very important. And you know why? Because the majority of people, the applications are refused not because they do not meet the requirements, it's because they do not know how to show that they meet the requirements. They do not know how to show how to follow the procedural part correctly, and they do not understand what documents should be submitted. So the procedure consists of normally 4 crucial steps. It's completing the online application, paying the fee, providing biometrics, and the crucial bit is providing your passport together with all the supporting documents. If you're watching this video because you intend to travel to the UK as a visitor in the next 6 months, you may want to subscribe to my 5 steps to UK Visitors Visa Application Success series at ukvisasuccess.com/visitor, because in one of the lessons I shall be providing you with all the information you need on the supporting documents and what is expected of you when you are submitting your UK Visitors application. I would like to draw attention that this is a deceivingly easy application to make, and there are quite a few refusals on the grounds which lots of people do not understand. Only a few days ago I've seen a guy, he's a very wealthy guy, and he was furious. His application was refused 3 times. He owns properties all around the world. He's a visa national, and the application was refused. And the thing is, he didn't understand why. So it was refused on the financial grounds, and he said, Svetlana, I have X amount of money in my bank account. I have all these properties. I have not got a clue as to why the application was refused. After analyzing the refusal letters, I understood that he didn't follow the procedural part. He didn't submit enough evidence to prove that he meet the financial requirements. So make sure you don't make the same mistake, and make sure that you get the procedural part right. Last key element, number 5, is about the outcome. Believe it or not, there are only 2 outcomes to the application. It can either be granted or it can be refused. If the application is granted, you are most likely to have a multiple visa for 6 months with no recourse to public funds, no study, no work condition attached to your stay in the UK. Remember I told you that it is very important to get the application right the first time, and here is why. If your application is refused, generally you will have no right of appeal against the decision, unless you can argue that it is going to be an Article 8, or in other words, the human rights appeal. You cannot apply for the administrative review either. And basically you have 4 options. The option number 1, which is taken quite often by many people, is to give up. And the entire purpose of creating my website ukvisasuccess.com and creating this free video series, just to make sure that this doesn't happen, to make sure that you just to stand by your side, hold you by the hand, and show you what should be done and the proper way. So I hope that after watching this video series you're not going to give up, and hopefully you will be watching this video before making the application, so I will help you avoid the refusals. Number 2, you may reapply, but as in case with the guy I told you about a little bit earlier, he didn't understand why it was refused. So if you reapply, you need to make sure that you understand why the application was refused in the first place and rectify the mistake. Number 3, you may attempt a human rights appeal. Normally this is only available for the family visitors cases and for no one else. And number 4, you can apply for the judicial review. It's normally complicated, expensive, and generally it works only if you can prove that there was an error of law. And this was the end of my overview of the UK Visitors Visa application. If you intend to make an application to come to the UK, I strongly recommend that you subscribe to my email series at ukvisasuccess.com/visitor. The link will also be given below the video, because after getting this video series you will be very clear on what steps you should take towards a successful UK visitors visa application. When you subscribe also, you will get tons of really useful information about UK visitors applications. And the good news, guys, is that it's absolutely free. So there is no reason for you whatsoever not to take action. Remember, Einstein said that it's an insanity to expect different results from the same action. So make sure that you are taking different action in order to get different results. I don't like when your visa applications are refused, and in many cases, as I explained to you before, this happens because of your lack of knowledge and understanding on how everything works. It is not as complicated as it seems, so let me help you, educate you to prevent the refusals from happening.